speakers, Professor Vijay Kumar sir, Dr. Tamil Selvam sir, Dr. Aparna ma'am, respected principal, our head of the department, Dr. Samina ma'am, dear colleagues and my dear participants. A very welcome to this international webinar. Today international webinar, recent research topic in graph theory. I'm very proud to say that in all over India, there are already a lot of webinars hosted. But in our institution, this is the first international webinar conducting, and I am very happy to say that I am the coordinator of this webinar. Actually, in the beginning, we planned a webinar of 250 participants, but after a few hours back, while we published the brochure and the application form on the air, we got 1,000+ participants registered form. So we are confused what to do next. So we planned better, and we got a network team. Some call is coming. Anyway, I thank the management secretary, O.P. Abdurrahman sir, and the management of this college, and our principal and all my colleagues for the support for this webinar. This application is due to the eminent research persons and eminent resource persons in this area. Professor Vijay Kumar sir, he's an emeritus professor from Kochi University, Science and Technology, CUSAT, and also Professor Tamil Selvam. He's a senior retired professor from MS University, Tirunelveli, Tamil Nadu. Also, Dr. Aparna Lakshmanan, she is working as an assistant professor in St. Xavier's College, Aluva. Thank you, speakers, for the core part you involved in this webinar. Okay, let me start our session. First, I call upon our principal and sir for the presidential address. Sir, please.
Respected President of MES Kerala, Dr. Faisal Ghafoor, sir. Secretary, College Management Committee, Professor O.P. Abdurrahman, sir. Speakers of this webinar, Professor Ambata Vijay Kumar, sir. Ambata Vijay Kumar, sir. Dr. Tamil Selvam, sir. Dr. Aparna, ma'am. Head of the Department of Mathematics, Dr. Samina Kalatodi. Coordinator of this program, Shahida Eti. And the most respected participants of this webinar. A very warm good morning to all. This is a proud moment to me because my own department is conducting this two-day international webinar on recent research topics in graph theory. We are proud because the registration process of this webinar was closed within 24 hours due to the fast flow of registration. The registration closed 1,200 within one day. It indicates that the topic and the speakers of this webinar are most relevant to the mathematics community. I extend our sincere gratitude to our speakers for coming down to us. Also, I wish to congratulate the coordinator, Dr. Shahida, for bringing apt persons for this seminar are as resource persons. And also I wish to congratulate her for the successful effort towards this webinar. MES Mambad College is one and only one autonomous college in the Malappuram district of Kerala. For the last 55 years, this college serves the community, especially socially and economically backward community, in a wonderful way through education. I extend our sincere gratitude to our management, Muslim Educational Society, and well-wishers for providing a wonderful working atmosphere to us. Department of Mathematics is a part and parcel of MES Mambad College from its establishment. The department had become a postgraduate department in 1981 itself. We are very proud to say most of the mathematics teachers in and around the district, from the primary level to the university level, are associated to this department. The department converted to a research department in 2018. Two of our research guides, Dr. Samina and Dr. Shahida, leading research in graph theory through 7 research scholars. I wish to congratulate all the participants for using this wonderful opportunity in this lockdown period, because we are very confident in our speakers from their past work in imparting knowledge to needy people. With these words, I wish to conclude my speech, and I welcome Professor O.P. Abdurrahman sir for the speech. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Respected Dr. Faisal Ghafoor, President of MES, and Chairman Governing Council of this college. Sir Anas, Principal College. Shahida, the faculty, members of the department, resource persons, participants of this webinar. Once more, I welcome all of you to this webinar on behalf of the College Managing Committee. MES Mambad College is a landmark educational institution of Kerala. It is the first NAC accreditor and the only autonomous college in Malappuram district. The college is one among the 19 autonomous colleges of Kerala. College offers UG, PG, and PhD programs and a number of certificate and diploma courses. There are 5 PhD programs in the college and nearly 100 students doing PhD. The college has the credit of running biggest international seminar of Kerala, MESMAC. And also it has its own publication division. For the last few years, the college has crafted a special place in the academic map of the country. The college has been ranked among the 200 colleges for the last 2 years by National Institutional Framework, NIRF. Now the college is the next higher stage of its development, as developing as a research institute and a center of excellence. As you know, online education is gaining more important nowadays due to many reasons. Choice of selection, the important advantages of choice of selection, and able to study by remaining in his professional career. Mambad College now entered in the online education system by offering a large number of courses, both for the public and also for students. Online education is supplemented by webinars, web conferences, and web seminars. So web seminars are entirely different and most advantageous than the normal seminars due to many reasons. Easy to organize, easy to attend, and less expensive. Chances to get more best resource persons, and more comfortable and wide reach. Participants from different parts of the country and from outside of the country are able to attend the webinar when compared to that of the seminar. So webinar is compared to seminar, it is less expensive, wide reach, and many advantages are there. So Mambad College is organizing this first seminar, and also it is conducted by the Department of Mathematics. I take this opportunity, the Department of Mathematics and also the principal, for organizing this webinar in a better manner. And also I expect more webinars in this academic year from the department, also from other department of the college. I take this opportunity once again congratulating all those behind this webinar, and also once again welcoming all of the participants and resource persons this important webinar in mathematics. With these few words, I conclude. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the speech. And I hope our Dr. Fasal Ghafoor, sir, President MES Kerala, will join soon. He will inaugurate the webinar. Okay, we can see. I hope already 1,000+ participants included this webinar, and 500 above are in online. And those who are not able to attend this webinar, they will join in the Telegram group. We will. He's joining now. Okay. Okay, he's joined after some time. Okay, we will start our first section. So I would like to invite Professor A. Vijaykumar sir. He's an emeritus professor from Kochi University of Science and Technology, Kerala. Sir, please. And I would like to say something about Professor Vijaykumar sir. He's hello, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
am I audible? Yeah.
Okay, sir. Sir, actually now it is 11:05. I think we can start our section.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you and namaste to all. Appreciate the efforts of MES.
സാറിന് 1.25 മണിക്കൂർ വേണമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. പിന്നെ അത്
Its
കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട്
principal
ഈ സെഷൻ കറക്റ്റ് അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ അവർ കട്ട് ചെയ്യും.
and my academic granddaughters Samina and Shahida for organizing these seminars. In fact, this is my third webinar experience. I suppose I am audible to all the participants. I am ready to start my presentation. It's only audio file that is now on. So my title of my talk is Real World Networks, which I will start a couple of minutes later. As you know, the origin of these real world networks dates back to 1736, when Euler solved the famous Königsberg Bridge problem. May I remind you that that was an innocent looking, very simple puzzle. It was not even a problem, which was solved negatively by Euler. And now, more than 250 years have passed. It has extended to various fields of knowledge, and that is why we are here to discuss the real world network. So let me formally start my presentation. Okay, is the slides visible? Is it okay?
Yes, sir, is it visible? Slides are
Okay.
visible. Your screen is visible to us.
Okay, I am from Cochin University of Science and Technology. I retired 2 years ago after serving for about 30 years. And thank you all from MES College Mampad for this invitation to deliver a talk in this webinar. Homage to a great Indian teacher, Honorable Dr. Abdul Kalam, who passed away on 27th July 2015. Read his quote. It demands strength, whether it is to the top of the Mount Everest or to the top of your career. So I first of all wish all the participants a great career in their chosen field of study. I also pay tribute to a great Indian mathematician, Professor S.S. Srikhande, who is popularly known as Euler's spoiler, who passed away on 21st April this year. Okay. The motivation for this topic, real world network, is due to the recent pandemic SARS-CoV-2, severe acute respiratory syndrome, a new form of it which started in 2002, and this started spreading in December 2019. But has now affected more than 210 countries, What is interesting for us is that we see in the newspapers and TV channels some terms like contact network, corona clusters, super spreaders, hotspots, etc. And you will be surprised to know that most of them are graph theory related. We should also realize that the present day knowledge explosion has made the research scenario highly interdisciplinary. To mention a few topics, virology, microbiology, immunology, epidemiology, etc. are some examples. You must also know that of 1 million types of viruses, only about 6,000 types have been studied to some extent. That also complete picture is not available. You may also be surprised to know that more than 10,000 research papers have been published on the possible origin of corona, its spread rate, its fatality rate, possible vaccination, etc. in a short span of about 4 or 5 months. All of them are based on mathematical models. To start with the famous SIR model, susceptible, infectious, recovered. You are going to compartmentalize, put it in 3 compartments, all human beings which are likely to get this any virus disease. This is a famous model, SIR model. Whenever you talk about models, of the quotation from a great statistician, all models are wrong, but some are useful. I repeat, all models are strong, but some are useful. So this is the basic philosophy with which we are going to model most of the epidemics. So during this discussion, we will discuss brain network, Facebook network, World Wide Web graph, and they are all examples of scale-free networks. Discuss some new parameters such as community structure, clustering coefficient, etc. So we are roughly making a journey of about 250 years, starting from the bridge problem, go to 1959 quickly to theory of random graphs. I will not spend more time there, and I'll quickly jump to 1990, where we have the notion of complex networks. So graph theory in the information age is actually a journey from bridges and chessboards, World Wide Web, evolution, computational biology, complex networks, epidemiology, and beyond. So what I wanted to inform the participants is that a simple looking Königsberg bridge problem and its solution is now an area of research which is widely applied all over the world in very different subjects which you are going to see. So we'll start with a tribute to Leonhard Euler, who could be called the father of graph theory. I should remind you, the audience, that he was totally blind. He lost his right eye in 1738 and the left eye in 1766, who proved the formula that e raised to I pi plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is the famous Königsberg bridge problem, which was known as the problem relating to the geometry of position. Graph theory was called in Latin geometria situs, which means geometry of position. And there is a famous book by Biggs, Lloyd, and Wilson, Graph Theory, 1736-1936. Let me also remind you that if one starts off writing a book from 1936 to say 2036, it's going to be almost impossible, because the subject has grown very exponentially and explosively. I should also inform you that though Euler is called the father of graph theory, it was the British mathematician J.J. Sylvester, James Joseph Sylvester, in his paper which appeared in Nature 1878, Chemistry and Algebra, who coined the term graph. He also coined the well-known term discriminant. So this is maybe a point which you may note, that it was Sylvester who coined first the graph in our sense. So I'm going to the first example of a network, which is called a phylogenetic tree. You know the notion of tree, a connected acyclic graph, a connected graph of order when you have n-1 edges if it is a tree. So this is a famous tree structure which I have done, and father of this notion of tree is Arthur Cayley, again a British mathematician. Phylogeny is a biological name. We feel at some point that biology is more of mathematics. The old biology is replaced by new biology. What you require is computer science and mathematics to explain most of the biological research. In fact, you don't find cockroaches, ants, and frogs in the biology laboratory nowadays. Phylogeny. What is phylogeny? The history of the evolution of a species or group, especially in reference to lines of descent and relationships among broad groups of organisms. The basic principle of phylogeny is that plants or animals of different species descended from common ancestors. You know, we belong to the species of Homo sapiens, and you attribute the origin to monkeys. And where do you find applications in phylogeny is that in medicine, phylogenies have been used to trace the origins and transmission rates of infectious diseases such as AIDS, influenza, dengue fever, and the most recent SARS-CoV-2. Note that all of them are viral diseases. So this is an example of a phylogenetic tree. I'm happy to tell you that this is actually the phylogenetic tree corresponding to coronavirus 2019. It is also called dendrogram. I will explain these technical terminologies a bit later. So these are two references which I would suggest: phylogenetic networks and phylogenetic trees made easy. I appeal to all the young researchers who have just started their research to engage in interdisciplinary areas of research so that you get a wider acceptability. So the graph that you have in mind, which you have studied in books, is actually an abstract graph, static. These are all named graphs: Peterson graph, Hoffman-Singleton graph, and on the down left, you find the famous Shigande graph, and so on. I don't find any situation which are modeled by these graphs, so they are just abstract. Introduced just to know the basic concepts of graph theory. And when you look at the present scenario, the real world networks, which are dynamic. Dynamic means it keeps on changing. If you look at the left top, you find a network, which is again a real world network, which is a model of the AIDS, AIDS situation, spreading of AIDS. And on the down right, you find a network, which is actually the terrorist operations network. So these are all dynamic in the sense that it keeps on changing, and they are all real world also. And you'll be surprised to know that our human brain, whether it is the brain of the elephant, dolphin, or gorilla, or dog, and you know, in the case of human being, there is a brain, I suppose, which varies in weightage from 1.2 to 1.4 kilo. And you know, leeches have 32 brains, and there are two animals, only two animals, corals and jellyfish, which do not have any brain at all. So brain has now become a mathematical object, and actually it is a network, real world network. I have to pay tribute to the old generation graph theorists and mathematicians, Paul Erdős. All graph theory people would have heard his name, Paul Erdős and Erdős number. And I'm happy to inform you that this is a photo taken by me when I met him first in 1994 at Budapest. You will see Claude Berge and William Tutt, who are also pioneers in graph theory, and Alfred Rennie, who is also contributed to random graphs, which I'm going to tell in a few seconds. And you look at the quote by Rennie, if I feel unhappy, I do mathematics to become happy. If I am happy, I do mathematics to keep happy. And his famous quote is, a mathematician is a device for turning coffee into syrups. And in that set, I think we are all mathematicians. Okay. In 1959, the idea of random graph, the famous Erdős-Rennie model. You know, random graph is the general term referred to graphs which are based on probability distributions or any random process. So basically, it's again an interdisciplinary area wherein it's an intersection of the pure graph theory, probability theory, and computer science. I repeatedly say the word interdisciplinary because it's a fact that without the knowledge of many areas of knowledge, you will not be able to do research in any branch of mathematics or any branch of science. So, tributes to Béla Balázs, a Hungarian mathematician. It was taken in the ICM 2018 held in Brazil. And he could be called the father of random graphs because he has done a lot of work on random graphs. Okay. Later on, we will be coming across a graph called scale-free graphs or scale-free networks. So I've drawn two pictures. On the left, you find a random network, and on the right, you find a scale-free network. What is scale-free, etc., I will discuss in detail later. Okay. Before defining what is a real-world network, I'll give you plenty of examples of real-world networks. I repeatedly say it's a dynamic network. It keeps on changing. So biological networks, metabolic networks, neural networks, gene regulatory networks. Then you look at the language networks. If you look at the linguistics, it's a semantic network is an example of real-world networks, software networks. And our internet itself is an example of a real-world network. Citation network, World Wide Web, sexual contact network, food web network, etc. I'll be concentrating on brain network, citation network, and World Wide Web later. Now, this is a classic example of a real-world network, our Facebook network. We should be careful that this network is of the order of 2.45 billion. 2.45 billion means 2.45 into 10 raised to 9. And managing a huge network of this type is not going to be easy. From India itself, there are 270 million users up to 2019. And you know Mark Zuckerberg, who is the man behind or the brain behind this. So the network problem ranges from a virus which is of the order of nanometers, 10 raised to -9, and we are going to deal with World Wide Web, which is order of 10 raised to 9. So the long span of hugeness, enormity. Okay. Another conception is those who are interested in research citation network, a citation graph. There is a slight difference in the sense that it's going to be a directed graph. So it was an idea initiated by Dirk J. de Sola-Price, who passed away in 1983, but it depends on what is called the arrow of time. Because, I'll come to that basically 1 second. So citation networks are directed graphs. All edges in the citation networks point backwards. Links in co-authorship networks are reciprocal. So vertices and edges added to the citation are permanent and cannot be removed at a later time. So this is the structure of the basic citation network. And if you look at, see, this is what I told you, arrow of time. If I write a paper in 2008, I cannot refer a paper in 2010. There is no backward going. In 2020, I can refer a research paper in 2019 or 2018, but definitely not a possibility of writing in 2020. So citation network is an example of a real world network, but in this case, this is an example of a directed network, and plenty of research is going on citation networks in different parts of the country itself. Now, what is the structure of the World Wide Web? What in the 2000 paper, Graph Structure in the Web by Broder and Ravi Kumar, their major finding was that the World Wide Web is going to contain a giant, strongly connected component. So this is basically the bow tie structure of the World Wide Web. What is that computer science people have designed, model? It came in a magazine called Nature. You know, Nature is possibly the journal with the highest impact factor. And anybody who wins a Nobel Prize publication in Nature and converse. So the central core of the bow tie structure consists of about 56 million pages, with out part containing about 45 million pages and inward part containing about 44 million. And there are tendrils and tubes, disconnected components, some of them. When you're talking about millions and millions, few lakhs of disconnected components is not going to affect the structure at all. So as per the present modeling available, the World Wide Web looks like a bow tie with a central, strongly connected component which works as a central core. Now, World Wide Web is dynamic. What is possibly the diameter of the World Wide Web? That was a fantastic result by A.L. Barabasi, a physicist. I will show his picture later. They have found that the diameter of the World Wide Web is 90. What does that mean? It was a result modeled, obtained in 1919 based on one model of the World Wide Web. There is another model of the World Wide Web which says that its diameter is 21. That means I am able to reach from any URL to any other URL by at most 90 mouse click. That's what roughly it means by saying that diameter is 90. But what is the path that I can choose? That is possibly the research area. What is the optimal path that I can take? And I will also show you John Kleinberg, who has a research result in navigation in small world network, who won Evelina Prize in the International Congress of Mathematicians in 2006. These are the VIPs in the modern network theory. On the left, you find A.L. Barabasi, whose H index is 145. You know, in a research terminology, H index is 145 means at least 145 papers of Barabasi has been cited at least 145 times. So that means Barabasi has got at least 145 papers. So H index of Barabasi is 145. On the middle, you find Duncan Watts, who is very young, just 39 years. On the right side, you find Amy J. Newman. And these are the three. I will talk about John Kleinberg and Strogatz. These 5-6 people are the pioneers of complex network theory and real world networks. What is a real world network? How are you going to characterize? How does a real world networks look like? And how do you differentiate a real world network with a random graph or an ordinary graph? It is massive, it is complex, but it has got an amazing coherence. So empirically, it has got three properties. One is sparsity. The adjacency matrix of the real world network is going to be sparse in the sense that there are going to be more zeros and less ones. So the number of edges is going to be a constant multiple of the number of vertices. And another nice property of real world networks is small world phenomena. This is where I am going to concentrate for the next 10 minutes. You find the small world phenomena in almost in all networks that are real world now. For example, starting from your artificial neural networks to brain networks, World Wide Web, citation graphs, and even in the corona spread behavior. So what is the basic principle of small world phenomena? Any two vertices are connected by a shortest path. So two vertices having a common neighbor are more likely to be neighbors. I may not have friendship with all the participants who are attending this webinar now, but I can definitely establish a relationship, a contact through the coordinator, Dr. Shahida. So Shahida becomes a common neighbor for all the participants who are inside in this conference. I suppose the idea of a common neighbor is clear. We may not be friends, but I have got a common friend through which I can easily communicate. So this is network or SWNE is that most nodes are not neighbors of one another, but most nodes can be reached from every other by a small number of steps. So the basic principle is strangers are linked by a mutual acquaintance. So this is what precisely now used in the language of contact networks, which I mentioned in the context of corona spread. You are going to the person may not have a coronavirus symptom, but that he may give a symptom to one of his contacts. So this is a peculiar behavior of all viral diseases, and in particular our corona also. So fine. So Facebook network is a small world network. You can reach. If you look at the terminology of average distance, you can see that the average distance of a Facebook network is less than 5. And the man behind a beautiful book, Networks, Crowds, and Markets, here. So the basic theory of small world phenomena is that it is searchable. That is, two persons who are 5 friends links away could navigate from one person to the other by knowing only the friends at each point, but not knowing anyone's friends of friends. Is it clear to you? I'm not worried about the neighborhood of the neighborhood. I'm just concentrating only on the neighborhood. Okay, so exactly contact network, only the first level. The first level of contact networks gives to some patients some diseases, spreads the diseases, and those patients are going to further create trouble by giving, spreading this contact. Now, one of the parameters of this real world network is clustering coefficient. Is a measure of the degree to which vertices in a network tend to cluster together. In most real world networks or social networks, nodes tend to create tightly knit groups characterized by a relatively high density of ties. And there is a notion of local clustering and global clustering. I'm not going to the details of it. I will suggest plenty of references those who are interested in this network, real world network analysis. So I'll take this picture. So local clustering coefficient is defined as, say, local clustering point of the vertex C of Vi is look at the cardinality of the edges between vertices Vj and Vk in the neighborhood of Vi divided by average of that. That is Ki into Ki minus 1 by 2. So where your Ki is number of neighbors of the vertex Vi. I shall repeat, the number of Ki is the number of vertices, number of degrees, degree of the vertex Vi, or number of neighbors of Vi, cardinality, number of neighbors, and the local clustering coefficient C of Vi is twice the cardinality of edges which are being connected by the neighbors of Vi, say Vj and Vk, divided by Ki into Ki minus 1. If you sum all these local clustering coefficient, divided by the order of the graph n, what you get is C of G. So average of clustering coefficients over all vertices, and you can easily see that for a complete graph, the C of G is 1. So a small world property implies that the clustering coefficient should be as large as possible. There should have a very thick cluster dense in the core of the network. Another property is the average distance, sum of the distances divided by the NC2. So you can easily find that for a small world property, L of G, average distance, must be small. So with a pause, in the real world networks, we have introduced notions like average distance, clustering coefficient, and community structure. Okay. So as an example I have seen here, it's a very small example of a small world network. Actually, the sizes are millions. So average degree 3.8, average shortest path length 1.8, and you can find the clustering coefficient using the formula which I mentioned earlier, and you can see that it's going to be 4.522. So that means it's not representing a huge graph. Okay. It will take about 5 to 10 minutes maximum. So I'm finally coming down, boils down to what is going to be 1.6, which is less than 2. You will see that in almost all biological networks, this power law constant is going to be less than 2. And for all information theoretic networks, it is going to be between 2 and 3. And you should always remember that analyzing a biological network is very, very difficult when compared to analyzing a communication network or computer network. So biology is more difficult than computer science. That is what the message that I want to tell you. So as I told you, there are plenty of examples of small world phenomena or real world networks, road maps, food chains, electrical power grids, metabolite processing networks, networks of the brain, etc. So networks with power law degree distribution are also known as scale free. What is that scale free coming? I'll come to within 1 minute. See, the most notable characteristic of a scale-free network is the relative commonness of vertices with a high degree. That's what you saw in the earlier picture. There is a density available. So you look at this picture, it's a power law graph, which is with the 400 vertices. Okay, networks with power law degree distributions are also known as scale-free networks. So highest degree nodes are often called hubs in the usual network, but super spreaders in viral related disease network. So when you look at the corona news nowadays, you will definitely see the word super spreaders. So certain people and certain countries who are going to contribute to spread the virus like anything. In December, this happened in the Wuhan city of China. And some people there could be called super spreaders. If that country, that place itself is taken as a node, this becomes an example of a super spreaders. And you may be surprised to know that in the case of SARS virus, that is the severe acute respiratory syndrome virus, which happened in 2002, again in China, the super spreader was one doctor. Okay, one doctor who was carrying a new disease called, new viral disease called SARS, did not know that he was a carrier, he was a spreader. He stayed in a hotel and he went to several cities. And by that, I think if the information is correct, more than 8,000 people got this SARS virus just through one doctor. So that is the spreading rate. Even now, in India, we don't have the spreading rate of the coronavirus in India or all over the world, but we have only a fatality rate. And for that matter, it's only 6.2% in India. That means only 6 of the 100 people are going to die due to coronavirus, which is very less when compared with some other viral diseases. So scale-free network. So technically, I will define. So I will need only 2-3 minutes to complete. A network is called scale-free if the characteristics of the network are independent of the size of the network, that is the number of nodes. That means that when the network grows, the underlying structure remains the same. That's why it's called scale-free. Okay, I cannot scale it. So not almost, all the real world networks that I have come across in this discussion, starting with biological networks, brain networks, citation networks, protein-protein interaction networks, and many other types of networks that you have in literature, they are scale-free. That is the message that I want to convey to you. Last is 6 degrees of separation. This is another psychology experiment constructed by Stanley Milgram. You know, all people are, any two people in this world will be separated by 6 steps. This is from a 6 degree of separation. And 6 degree of separation refers to that everyone is at most 6 steps away from any other person on earth. So you may think that, oh, that's all. So I am related to Donald Trump in at most 6 steps. Is that which is the path which I can use in with Donald Trump, especially in the virtual world. It depends on the fact that friend of a friend is a friend. If you look at Facebook network, you see that the degree of separation not 6, it is brought down to 3.57. The Facebook network is so thick, so dense, so close that I am able to connect with any member of the Facebook in at most 4 steps. So this is a recent observation, hardly 3-4 years, that the 6 degree of separation is not necessarily true in the Facebook network, it's 3.57. So I am closing my discussion. So World Wide Web is an infinite imaginary library. Number of web pages exceeds human population. As of January 2019, it is 1.4 billion. All of us may think, why are we worried? The reason is mathematics will be more complex. We may need more new mathematics, a new interdisciplinary approach to analyze the structure of the World Wide Web. There is also power law in weatherquakes. So there is an article on weatherquakes which appeared in the notices of the American Mathematical Society, not earthquake. Earthquake also has a power law distribution, and weatherquakes also has a power law distribution. And on the contrary, you find that these are all fractal theoretic languages. Also, you can interpret these weatherquakes and all the natural phenomena which I mentioned. So as an exercise part, you take the book by Introduction to the Web Graph by Antonio, look at the graphs, highway graph, code graph, etc. And you find which of them are power graphs. You can find the parameters, average distance, cluster coefficient, Peterson graph, path, cycle, click, etc. That becomes a lockdown exercise. And I will give you, I need only 2 minutes. These are books which are referred to. You can look at the spectral aspect of the complex network. You know, spectra is the studying the eigenvalues of the adjacency matrix of a graph network. Look at the scale-free networks or power law networks. How do you analyze the spectra? How do you make a spectral analysis of the complex networks? That itself is a branch of algebraic graph theory. Network affecting the diseases of the brain. So network approach to disease of the brain. Evolution of networks, which connects power law, fractals, and chaos. Evolution of networks is by Mendes, is a very good book. A lot of books like scale-free networks, complex webs, scale-free networks. If you Google complex networks or scale-free networks or small world phenomena, you get plenty of reference books. Networks, crowds, and markets, analysis of biological networks. Let me conclude by thanking Dr. Shahida and Dr. Samina for arranging this webinar and also inviting me to all the way to MES Ahmedabad. I've gone there, it's a nice campus. I need not go this time because of lockdown. I am comfortably sitting in my house and giving this webinar. And I think we should arrange more such webinars to speakers as for the participants. But the take-home message should be that after attending such webinars, you should be able to start research on one of these areas. I am open for discussion. Any information on this content of this presentation, you can approach me. I can give the mail ID through Shahida. Is going to be the common neighbor for all of us. Shahida knows my email ID or WhatsApp number. You can send a message. So thanks to my wife Prema and daughter Shruti and son-in-law Sandeep. My message is also break the chain and fight Corona. I did not scare Corona. I think by God's wish, it's going to come down. Hopefully, vaccine has to be found out, and we may not worry much about the spread of Corona. But be careful that stay at home, and home is sweet home always. So thank you all, and welcome to Kerala, God's own country. Not now, after possibly the lockdown, you are all welcome to Kerala. And we conclude this. It's a repeated message that all of you who have attended this. I don't know how many. I think it is around 450. Please spread the message that there are a lot of research areas in graph theory and network analysis, which are, of course, most of them are challenging. You should try to get a PhD with a strong, at least 5 to 10 research papers. And I wish you all the best. And I'm free for discussion, either online or offline. And I, first of all, again, thank you all for this arranging this webinar. Thank you. I switch off. Over to Shahida. Shahida, I have finished.
Hello. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the excellent presentation. The chat post says like everyone enjoyed very well, and actually I planned to say something about you before the talk, but I couldn't get a chance because we already late, and all the participants telling like please ma'am, please start the session as immediate as possible. So sir, I think there is no need to say something about you. Actually you've proven what exactly you are. Okay sir, this is our question answer section, and the participant may ask questions. Sir, can you? Okay.
Ask directly.
Okay. So, okay, this is the session for question answer session. All the participants can ask some questions regarding to this talk. Actually, we have 1,000+ participants across the country and abroad. And after we closed this registration link, from that moment to till the date, we got a lot of applicants through by call and by messages, and I tried myself to accommodate all of them in this webinar, but I think some of them not access this facility. I don't know what happened. Maybe the pure network connection. So please change this to the. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Please.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Shahida, Samina, ma'am, and all others at MES. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Dr. Mini Rani.
Yeah.
I'm from Mumbai.
Yeah.
Hope you remember me, since you were mentioning about the academic, mentioning about tree in the beginning. I thought this would be a wonderful observation which I could share with the audience also. As sir was mentioning, Shahida and Samina is the third generation or grandchildren, academic grandchildren of Vijay Kumar sir.
Yeah.
I'm the fourth generation, sir. Hopefully you remember Sunil sir's student.
Yes.
Student at IT.
Yes.
And my student, actually your fifth generation grandchild is also present to attend the seminar of yours. He is also a colleague of mine working at NMIMS, Professor Mahesh Kale. So it was a wonderful observation when you were talking about networks and trees. I thought I would share with the participants to have fifth generation students with you is something I felt like it is awesome. to have
Okay, thank you.
an interaction. Yeah.
Thank
You, sir, for the wonderful talk.
Okay, all the best.
Yeah.
Shahida, you can ask if anyone wants to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, somebody's asking something. So, Dr. Madam Pallavi, ma'am, please. Hello, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes.
Hello. Please tell them to connect. And hello, ma'am. Unmute you, Pallavi. Unmute you. Hello, ma'am. Hello. Yes, ma'am. You can ask questions. Hello, ma'am. Okay. Okay, ma'am. Tell me.
This is Pallavi from SGBIT Belgaum.
Okay, please, sir. Please.
Okay, sir. Sir, I'm a research scholar of graph theory, and I'm doing research in domination.
Which place? Which university?
VTU, sir.
Okay. You mean Vellore Technological University?
Hello.
Can you please tell? You're audible.
Yes, sir. So what I want is, how can we apply this domination theory to science, so it will be more effective. Our papers will be more effective.
See, there are some research papers on domination theory in scale-free networks. The introduction to the web graph, there are a lot of discussion and research references to how to apply domination techniques in scale-free networks. In general, for domination, there are books by books on special topics in domination theory by Haddad Dimi and others from USA. I suppose you would have seen that. Okay, if you have some specific questions, I think you can communicate me through my email. Okay, Shahida.
To continue. And some Dr. V.S. Subais also raised her hand. Please unmute her. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Yes, please ask. If you have any questions of general interest, will you please ask? Otherwise, you can communicate privately. Because the organizers have to start the next session at 2 o'clock.
Hello.
Yes.
I am Lawrence. Sir.
Yeah, tell me.
It's a nice presentation, sir. Sir,
Okay, thank you.
kindly suggest random graphs. Random graphs.
Yeah, I mentioned that Bela Bolabas,
Bella Bonobas.
his father, and he has a book on modern graph theory and also book on random graphs. I've seen at least 2 books by him, and he could be called the originator of random graph theory in some sense because he has got plenty of research results and problems in random graph theory. Bela Bolabas, you can Google, you will get plenty of references. Is it okay?
Asking about, please compare this scale-free network and complex networks.
It is synonymous in sense. There is no comparison. They are synonymous. Instead of complex networks, almost all complex networks are scale-free. Yeah,
Okay.
small world phenomenon.
Okay, sir. And also, there is one other question regarding to electricity of the graph. And the question is like this. This is asked from Rajashekhar KC. And his message is like this. I think eccentricity of graph is useful for contact networks. Can you say more?
I don't know. Eccentricity calculation for, because we have studied the distance, diameter and all that. So definitely eccentricity should have played a picture, but there are plenty of programs available to calculate the various parameters that I have discussed. I repeatedly say the network is huge, of the order of billion. Therefore, manually it is not possible. So there are programs to calculate all these. I want to check, for example, I want to check whether a network is scale-free or not. You can use such programs to check the parameters and conclude, like average path length, average degree.
I hope they will got the answer. And next one is from Narmada Devi Ratinam. She asked about any application in topological graph theory was firstly topological graph topological.
I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not aware.
Okay. Sir, some Tamil Selvi put some message like suggest one in some topics for new researchers in graph theory with more real-time application oriented.
If you want applications in real-world networks, there are plenty, as I suggested. But if you are interested in the pure graph theory aspects, I would suggest algebraic graph theory, study of distance spectra and adjacency spectra. There is a research group in Cochin. You can also look at, if you follow the talk by Dr. Aparna Lakshmanan, she will be talking about some new domination parameters in graphs. There is domination, our Cochin University group is interested. So I can suggest some new areas where you can try to get problems. You can send me an email and I will be happy to respond.
So I hope they got the point. And sir, another query from Sunita Kumawat asking like, sir, all self-similarity structures are always scale-free graphs like all fractals?
Yes, that's what, see, it is believed that, you cannot prove, but it is believed that there is a close resemblance between fractal structure and the scale-free phenomenon.
Okay.
Yeah. That is approaching the subject in a different angle using topology.
Okay, sir. And another query from Subhash is asking about, please tell me some applications of star coloring in Cartesian product of graphs.
Oh, that's a specific question which I can answer through email.
Okay, sure.
Okay. The product graph structure. In fact, you can also look at the phenomena as a product graph. Some structure is available, and you can try to generalize these notions to product graphs also.
Okay, sir. Someone is raising their hand to talk something, so I share the screen to them. Some Janshina P. Ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, I am Jamshina from Farooq College. I'm a research scholar at NIT Calicut. Actually, my research area is algebraic graph theory using rings and ideal properties. Sir, is there any real life application regarding this?
Oh, for that it's better to ask the next speaker, Dr. Tamil Selvam, because he is going to talk on ring theory, algebraic ring theory related to graph theory.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, next query from Preeti Shukla. She's asking like how to relate the graph theory with variational inclusions or variational inequalities.
I'm not aware. I don't know.
Okay, sir. Someone is online. Is that Tamil Selvi? Ma'am, please. Hello, ma'am. Please raise your voice.
Hello, it is audible?
Yes,
It's not audible, ma'am. Okay, it's audible.
Sir, you have just share your mail ID. You have answered to my question earlier that topics related to graph theory. I am aspiring to do research in graph theory, sir. I am basically in Mumbai.
Okay. You please send me an email. I will be happy to share whatever information I know.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, please, Shahida ma'am, please share her sir's ID in the chat box.
Okay, sure, ma'am.
Okay, very nice session, sir. It's a lot of information and books. That's what I was writing. Now my diary was. That's why I told ma'am to share the entire thing. Very.
Okay.
So many information in 1 hour means so many things we learned, sir. It's really a nice session. Thank you. Sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir, it's another query. I think that we can stop by 1 o'clock. No problem. We have enough time to discuss. And the next question is from, the name is not seen, but the question is, the concepts you told in the session is applicable on hypergraph and locality problems.
That is a good question in the sense that application or extension of these two hypergraphs, I am not aware. I don't know whether any research activities have been done. Locality problem, you mean local? There are local problems that you have in mind. It is local clustering coefficient. All these parameters have both a local version as a global version. I define what's called local clustering coefficient in terms of the clustering coefficient of the vertex, then the whole graph G. So local property, if you have that in mind, local properties of all these things can be studied. That's what I think. That's what you have. Hypergraphs, I don't know. In fact, that's a good question whether we can have a extension or analysis of hypergraph. And may I remind you that the order of the graph is of billions. So it's not going to be an easy problem. We should have basically programs to find such parameters, and I think it should be a good challenge.
Okay, thank you, sir. And next query from Dr. M. Muhammad Altaf is asking about cumulative prospect theory in network optimization, improved cumulative prospect theory, ICPT also.
I don't know.
Okay, sir. Okay, and somebody is asking, Mr. Balaramanji is asking about suggest software for analyzing complex network.
It is there. I cannot immediately tell, but definitely there is a research group in Slovenia who are experts in programs and packages for finding the parameters of the scale-free networks. I can definitely connect you with those groups if you send me an email. I just don't know now. Definitely I have in my mailbox some information about the programs to calculate all these parameters.
Okay, sir, thank you for the reply. And next one is from Vignesh R. He's asking about, is it possible to connect the number theoretic graphs into the real world applications?
See, it all depends on how we are going to approach the problem. Anything could be connected, but how easy or how difficult, we don't know. It depends.
Okay. Then another participant asking about, there is any relationship between operation research and graph theory using real life data?
See, some optimization techniques are applied to reduce the navigation time and all that. I am not an expert in, I have not seen directly some papers, but you can definitely Google this and get more information. It's all available in the web. All you have to do is to sit down for half an hour and Google all these things. You will definitely get some research problems.
Okay. Okay, sir. Next one is Dr. Jayalakshmi M. She's asking about, sir, how we can apply graph parameters to the real world network problems when the resultant graph is not structured.
It's not going to be easy. See, certain parameters which you study in ordinary graph theory, for example, say cut vertex. The cut vertex, you remove that vertex, the graph becomes disconnected. But in the case of a scale-free network, which is of the order of billion, asking for a one vertex which will disconnect makes meaningless. So the notion of cut vertex has to be transferred, or that is not of significance in the case of a scale-free networks. That's why we wanted a new parameter, several new parameters like clustering coefficient, average distance, these factor, parameters that are just for a huge structure network or scale-free network.
Okay,
You cannot
sir.
translate from a abstract network to dynamic network all the terminologies that you have in your master's level. They are not relevant. Some of them are not relevant.
Okay, thank you, sir. And next query is from Dr. A.S. Dhanalakshmi. She's asking about, sir, how to apply the differential equation concepts in graph theory.
Oh, see, differential is a continuous mathematics. I should not ask this question in the sense that differential equation is dealing with changes, and graph theory or discrete mathematics are the opposite of this philosophy. Newton can be called the father of differential equation. But Newton himself was sure that the world is discrete.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir. And next question is from Indulal Gopalapillai. He's asking about, is there any relevance to study of the spectral properties of large networks?
Yes, there is. There are a couple of papers. It is with me. The spectral aspects of scale-free networks can be studied, and it's not going to be easy, but it can be studied, and there are research papers available on that area.
Okay, thank you, sir. And the question is coming. The next question is from Sivarama Krishna Eddy, and is asking about, please explain discrete math and graph theory relation. Discrete math.
Graph theory is a branch of discrete mathematics.
Yeah, it's a part.
Like combinatorics, all these things.
Okay. Sir, another question from Mr. Shamsuddin PV. He's asking about, is any opportunity to do work about metric dimension or resolvability in human network?
And one is
K.C. Rajshekar. He's asking about any recent application of content network with regards of COVID-19. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. He's not audible. Sir, please unmute.
okay. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes. Are you hearing me?
The question is like this.
No.
Any recent application of contact network with recent to with regard to COVID-19?
Yes, definitely. That's what I told in the beginning. The success of Kerala model is to finding that contact network from all those patients who came from abroad and from other parts of the country or within Kerala itself. So our Kerala government was successful in looking at the possible contact network. And you see in almost all papers and channels, the word repeatedly told by our minister and all doctors, contact network, contact network. But most of them, they don't know the mathematics underlying in the analysis of such networks. Therefore, in the research group of, international research group of those who are fighting for finding a vaccination for corona, there are experts from mathematics, biology, physics, chemistry, all people, because that may change from one domain to another. And as I said in the beginning, if you look at the mathematical development of, say, mathematical oncology, that is the mathematics of cancer spread, this question of spreading of cancer was answered by mathematicians first. You will be surprised to know that. There is a book by some author, title of the book is Mathematical Introduction to Mathematical Oncology. That is study of cancer using mathematical techniques. In the preface, it is written that it was mathematicians who suggested basic solutions for problems like cancer. So all mathematical modeling, but I repeatedly say all mathematical models are wrong, but some are useful. So that is the optimism that we have with us. We hope that everything will be fine.
Okay, thank you for this wonderful and very clear explanation for this query. And sir, next one is asking Dr. P. Maheshwaran is asking, sir, what book would you recommend to read about topological graph theory?
Oh, topological graph theory, or topological or algebraic?
Topological graph theory.
Topological graph theory should discuss with planarity, genus, and all that. I'm not able to suggest a book, but algebraic graph theory definitely Gottsell, Chris Gottsell, algebraic graph theory and book by Dix, the famous references for algebraic graph theory. Topological graph theory, I have to check and let you know.
So somebody asked about your mail ID and okay, I will share them later.
Yeah.
And there is
If
some
is
other
it okay
query
if I write it in the chat box, I don't know whether it is useful. So
okay.
just write in my chat box, but it's a not private message, public.
Okay.
Yeah, it is somebody
yeah.
answered. vambat@gmail.com by Dr. Avarna has already.
Yes, she shared the email ID.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And anybody, any doubts, please ask. Any queries related to this, please ask. I think we missed a lot of queries because it's scrolling up. Anyway, they will contact you later using the email ID.
Okay.
And the next question from Anuradha. She's asking about, sir, can we use network concept to work on seed technology in agriculture field?
Well, I don't.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think almost all questions are completed. Any queries? Hello? Anybody? Okay, sir. I think almost all queries are completed. Thank you for the wonderful session, sir. Once again, thank you all,
Okay,
and
thank you.
thank you, participants. Thank you, participants, and sir, I hope you will be with us on the all program.
Yes, sure.
And
now things are
okay,
easy,
sir.
because I need not travel. I can sit in my room and do that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you. All
sir.
the best.
Okay, sir. And the next session will start on sharp 2 o'clock. Then only we can complete as early as possible. And we don't know what is the present weather condition afternoon in Kerala. Maybe rainy or calm and quiet. Anyway, we can complete our session without any interruption in the in the afternoon session. Okay, the afternoon session is will be handled by Dr. Tamil Selvan, sir. And here his topic is zero divisor graph of communicative rings. So dear, thank you, sir, for this nice session. And
Okay, convey my regards to my friend Dr. Anup. Anup Das.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay.
I will.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
And
Thank you.
I hope. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Okay. And the link for second section will be in the chat box. Dear participants, please note the link. It's already provided in the email, and also I put the details in the Telegram group. And please join in the sharp 2 o'clock. Then only we can make it successful. Thank you for your kind cooperation, and see you. So, thank you. Hello. So this is the end of this session. Thank you all. See you soon. Have a break and get refreshed. Okay. Close the Okay, I think you can leave the session now and be present at sharp 2 o'clock. The next session will start on 2 o'clock and you can enter the meeting room after 1:30. The meeting room will be open at 1:30. Okay. And the next talk is by Dr. Tamil Selvan sir. He's a retired senior professor from MS University, Tirunelveli. And he's talking about zero divisor graph of commutative rings. Okay, any queries, participants, or you may leave this session. Chat box. Okay, I can see the messages here. Yeah, Lama? So somebody is asking like any feedback. Okay, surely we will send you by mail a feedback form. Not now. After all section we can do it. Okay, and you can also see the recorded version of this session in the Telegram group. Okay, you can leave from the screen now.